Being one of, if not the most famous club in the world, Manchester United have spent big money on big names over the years. A club steeped in history and glory. They nearly always get their man when they decide who they want. However, a big price tag does not always guarantee results. In this video, we analyse Man United's most expensive signings and whether they were worth the money or not. Paul Pogba's transfer back to Manchester United in 2016 was one of the biggest stories in world football. After leaving the club on a free transfer to Juventus in 2012, Pogba returned in a record-breaking £89 million deal, making him the most expensive footballer at the time. United fans were thrilled. Pogba was not just a talented midfielder, he was a brand, a world champion, and someone who had unfinished business at Old Trafford. He helped the club win the EFL Cup and Europa League in 2017 and showed flashes of brilliance with moments of jaw-dropping skill and vision. But just as often, Pogba was inconsistent, either due to injuries, tactical confusion, or off-pitch drama. His relationship with fans soured as his agent, Mino Raiola, made repeated public comments about Pogba needing a move away. By 2022, Pogba's contract ran out and he returned to Juventus. Sadly, that move too turned sour when Pogba tested positive for a banned substance in 2023. He was handed a 4-year ban from football, though it was later reduced. As of mid-2025, Pogba remains without a club, training in private and hoping for one final chapter in his career. Antony arrived at Manchester United in 2022 with high expectations. His £82 million fee made him one of the most expensive wingers in the world. United manager Erik ten Hag had worked with him at Ajax and pushed hard to bring him to Old Trafford. Antony's debut was electric, scoring in his first few games and dazzling with his flair. But over time, his weaknesses began to show. His end product was inconsistent, his one-footed style made him predictable, and he struggled against physical defenders. Off-field issues also affected his performance, including allegations that cast a shadow over his career. Despite his early promise, Antony has yet to justify his price tag. In the second half of the 2024-25 season, he was loaned out to Real Betis in Spain, where he showed glimpses of improvement. Still only in his mid-20s, Antony has time on his side, but as it stands, he remains one of United's most frustrating big-money gambles. Maguire became the world's most expensive defender in 2019, when Manchester United paid Leicester City £80 million for his services. His size, aerial ability and composure on the ball made him look like the ideal modern centre-back. Within a few months, he was handed the captaincy, a move that surprised many but symbolised his leadership potential. At first, Maguire looked solid, but as United's defensive frailties were exposed, so was Maguire's lack of agility, poor decision-making, and struggle under pressure. Mistakes became more frequent, and so did the criticism. Social media memes and pundit analysis turned him into a punching bag for the club's defensive woes. Despite the pressure, Maguire never asked to leave and remained a loyal figure. He lost the captaincy and his starting spot, but still made important appearances when called upon. As of 2025, Maguire is still at Manchester United, mostly used as a backup. His market value has plummeted, and while he remains respected in the locker room, it's likely he'll move on soon for a fresh start. When Romelu Lukaku signed from Everton in 2017 for £75 million, it felt like the final piece of a title-winning puzzle. A strong physical striker with a proven Premier League record, Lukaku was expected to lead United's front line for years to come. His first season was promising. He scored 27 goals in all competitions and seemed like the real deal. But by his second season, cracks began to show. His first touch, often criticised, became a liability. His movement seemed clunky, and he looked increasingly frustrated on the pitch. In 2019, United cut their losses and sold Lukaku to Inter Milan. There he rediscovered his best form, leading them to a Serie A title and becoming one of Europe's most feared strikers again. After a brief, disappointing return to Chelsea in 2021, he bounced around with loans to Inter and Roma before landing at Napoli, where he's regained consistency and form. While his United chapter ended awkwardly, Lukaku has proven that he's still a world-class forward in the right system. Jadon Sancho was supposed to be the future. Signed for £73 million from Borussia Dortmund in 2021 after a long pursuit, Sancho was expected to bring pace, flair and goals from the wing, something United had lacked since the days of Ronaldo's first spell. But Sancho's United career had been riddled with challenges. Despite a few standout moments, he struggled to adapt to the Premier League's physical demands and seemed out of place in United's tactical setup. Injuries and mental health breaks further limited his impact. Fans waited patiently for the version of Sancho that dazzled in the Bundesliga, but it never quite came. In 2024, he was loaned to Chelsea in hopes of reviving his career. So far, the change of scenery hasn't sparked a complete turnaround, but he's shown more confidence and sharpness. Still young, Sancho's story isn't over, but the pressure to live up to his price tag remains enormous. In 2023, Manchester United took a bold step by signing 20-year-old Danish striker Rasmus Hojlund from Atalanta for £72 million. It was a statement of long-term belief, a move that said United wanted to develop talent, not just buy ready-made stars. Hojlund's start was promising. He scored goals in the Champions League and had a brief purple patch in the Premier League that earned him Player of the Month. Tall, fast and aggressive, Hojlund looked like the striker United had been missing. However, consistency proved elusive. A long goal drought mid-season saw him lose confidence, and fans became restless. As of 2025, he remains at the club, but rumours are swirling about a potential loan or even sale, with Inter Milan said to be interested. Hojlund's ceiling remains high, but whether he can reach it at United remains to be seen. Casemiro's arrival in 2022 was a surprise. At 30 years old, many saw him as past his peak, but United spent around £60 million to bring in the 5-time Champions League winner from Real Madrid. Initially, he proved the doubters wrong. His positioning, experience and leadership were invaluable as United stabilised their midfield. He played a key role in the club's 2023 Carabao Cup win and even chipped in with crucial goals. But as the 2024-25 season wore on, Casemiro's age began to show. Injuries piled up, and he often looked a step too slow for the Premier League's tempo. His form dipped sharply, and by 2025, he's no longer a guaranteed starter. Rumours suggest he might move to the Saudi Pro League or MLS before the end of the year. While his time at United wasn't a disaster, it also didn't quite match the heights of his Madrid glory days. Angel Di Maria was United's record signing in 2014 when he arrived from Real Madrid for just under £60 million. He wore the iconic number 7 shirt and was supposed to be the club's next superstar. Things started well. Di Maria scored an outrageous chip against Leicester and racked up assists early in the season, but soon it became clear that he was unhappy in England. The pace of the game, the weather, the culture, everything seemed to bother him. Off-field issues, including a robbery at his home, further unsettled him. After just one season, he left for PSG, where he spent the best years of his career. He won multiple league titles, reached the Champions League final, and re-established himself as one of the most talented wingers in Europe. After brief stints with Juventus and now Benfica, Di Maria is still going strong into his mid-30s. His United career may have flopped, but elsewhere, he reminded the world of his class. Manchester United's 8 most expensive signings paint a vivid picture of the club's transfer policy in the last decade. There's no doubt that they've spent big, nearly £600 million on just these 8 players, but the results have been wildly inconsistent. Only a few, Casemiro and Lukaku for short periods, could be considered relatively successful. Others like Pogba and Sancho remain symbols of unfulfilled promise. Some, like Di Maria, found their best form elsewhere, and young players like Hojlund still have room for hope. What's clear is that spending big doesn't guarantee success. Fitness, mentality, and timing all matter. As United looks to rebuild under new ownership and potential changes in management, these past lessons will be vital in shaping a more sustainable and smarter transfer strategy. Until then, fans can only hope that the next big money signing will finally live up to the billing.